Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone who's joining in, and welcome to the final stop of our journey of Graduate Guide to the Job Market with our special speaker, Ms. Yusra Smail, an online event organized by Petro and Arab Guru. My name is Sarah Kalel. I am graduate petroleum geophysicist from the University of Boumardès, Algeria, and I will be your moderator for today's session. For the past 3 weeks, we have been learning from outstanding sessions about how to get a job in a competitive market, how to write a winning CV, and how to ace an interview. Today, Ms. Yusra will be presenting basic skills to succeed at workplace. So, as always, before we start, please let me give a brief presentation about our guest, a great figure who contributed widely, not only in the job market, but in the society as well, Ms. Yusra Smail. So Ms. Yusra Ismail is the HR manager in one of the most promising tech companies in MENA region and USA, with more than 10 years of experience in diverse industries. She holds an MBA in global management from Islaska University in Paris, France. In addition, Ms. Yusra is a certified trainer and coach. She was able to manage and train many young HR persons throughout her successful path. Besides all that, she's one of the most active people standing up against bullying, helping our community to develop a great mindset. A note to our participants, please don't forget to drop your questions in the Q&A section below so Ms. Yusra will be able to answer them. Now, with no further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Ms. Yusra Ismail. It is such a pleasure having you with us during this month. And thank you so much for coming today. The mic is yours.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for the warm welcome and very nice introduction. And I would like as well to thank everybody who's attending today on our fourth and last stop in this journey. We started the journey 3 weeks ago, and we have been handling together all the steps needed throughout your journey to secure yourself a job in this very competitive job market. We started at first by talking about the different job markets and how to handle them and how to be able to compete in both. And the next step after that, we talked about the CV, how to present yourself in the CV. And last week, we have talked about basic skills for interview and to how to be prepared for it. And now you have passed through the interview, you've got yourself an offer, and you will be joining the company very soon. Now, you have to be ready for this because this is the real thing. Now, you have been preparing yourself for this moment. And just to warm up everybody, I want you to give me one very essential skill that you believe is a must so you can succeed at your workplace. I need you to participate and interact with me in the comments. Tell me the most important skill that you believe is important for you to succeed at workplace. I'll give you a minute so I can know how you're thinking. What is the most important skill to succeed at workplace? I need everybody to give me one skill, the most important one in the comments here, so I can read it to everybody. Sarah says communication. Wael says cooperation. Omar says flexibility. Okay, answers are coming in. Fidan says responsibility. Okay. Tariq says honesty. Wael again says, don't talk about any one of your friends. To be loyal to your friends and don't gossip. Okay, what else? Okay, let me reveal to you that succeeding at workplace is a formula, and you have to be able to handle the different sides of it. It's not only one skill. Everything that you have participated here in the comments is correct, but it's a formula that you have to keep in front of you when you are getting at your first job. And let me say that it's going to be divided into 3 parts. It's your relation with your manager, your relation with your colleagues, and yourself. And the reason why we are dividing it to three parts is that there is a very well-known term in work. It's called the workplace politics. And it's not a negative thing at all. It's a very positive thing, actually, because whenever you have like more than two or three people at the same place doing anything for a purpose, there will be a dynamic among them. There will be something among them, and it's not seen. Like you can see how people are having vibes together to each other, but it's something very important that you understand it and you know how to handle it and deal with it. So it's not going to be affecting you in a negative way. So let's say that you started your job. What is the important tips regarding you that you need to be aware of? Okay. And I'm going to start by you and your colleagues and then the manager at the end. It's very important that when you get into the job, you have to start by understanding everything related to the company. You have to understand the goals of the company and the vision and the mission and the values. You have to make sure that the first maybe month you're going to be educating yourself to understand everything related to the place that you're joining. You have to ask if there is no proper orientation or onboarding done for you. You have to be proactive and go and ask and seek information from everybody, from HR. Ask them about the values, the vision and mission and goals, objectives. You have to be fully aware of everything around you. That's the direction of the company. And the second step is to understand your job description very well and the expectations and maybe the key performance indicators that is requested from you or expected from you. And you're going to be doing this with your manager to understand what are the expectations. The third thing is you have to have a goal. You can't just go by and just work from 9 to 5 and go home and that's it. We are talking about very ambitious people here. So you have, after you understand everything related to the company and your job, you have to understand everything related to yourself. What is your goal that you want to achieve at this place? You have to write it down. And let me give you a very smart tip that you can do. It's called to write your CV backwards. Like, what does it mean? Or pre-review your CV. Meaning that last time we were talking about to write actual facts or actual activities that you have done throughout your years, and you write it down on your CV. Now, this tip means that you're going to be writing what you want to achieve in the future. To write down everything that you have in mind to achieve related to your career and draft it, like to have two versions of CVs. The one that you already have like done everything in it, and the other one that you are looking forward to write in your CV. For example, if you want to get a specific certificate, you write it down. You write it down in the CV. If you want to go to a specific, maybe to get promoted to a specific position, you will write it down as if you already achieved it and now you have it on your CV. And doing this just gives you the clarity of what do you want to achieve in your career and to have a goal for your career. And having this in mind will let you, during your job, to know exactly what you're doing at this place. To, if you need maybe to learn something from someone at your workplace, you will go there and learn from them, not just to go to spend days and do nothing but doing your job. Okay. Now you have very clear things related to your job, your company, and your goals. Let me take you to the next step, is your relationships with everybody around you. And this is very important because, as I was telling you, Workplace politics is, it's where you can like be part of what's going on at this place. And I'm not talking about uh, maybe accepting bad behaviors or anything like this. No, at all. I just want you to know the what's how people are acting at this place. And maybe you are the new joiner, so I want you to be observant of how people are acting together. What is the type of the culture? Because maybe the HR will tell you, okay, the culture is maybe professional, but after you observe, you figure out it's yes, it's professional, but people act on a friendly basis to get things done. So you have to observe very well how people are reacting together, what behaviors are being rewarded. For example, and it's very uh, kind of like a funny example. Let's say that you spend extra hours trying to prove that you are like to finish whatever is needed from you, and to prove that you have commitment, high commitment. And some workplaces really appreciate extra hours as a sign of commitment. And I'm not saying it's correct, or is it right or wrong. I'm just giving you an example. Okay, so let's say that you're spending extra hours during weekends, and nobody knows about this. Okay, so well, while other people spend extra hours during the work days, and it's really rewarded and appreciated. So just observe. You have to realize that spending extra hours during the weekend is not doing you any good, and you have to spend these extra hours during the workday. This is workplace politics. Okay, to know exactly what is being rewarded and do it, and it's for your own benefit. So now I'm just trying to give you an example to understand that workplace politics is not necessarily something bad. Actually, it's being smart about how you're presenting yourself. So instead of doing the effort on weekends and nobody knows, you do it during the work days, and everybody knows that you are a committed person if this is what's being rewarded. And again, nothing is right or wrong. I'm just giving you an example to realize what is workplace politics. Okay, again, let's get back to the relation with everybody around you. I was telling you to be observant of what's going on around you, how people are reacting to each other, what is being rewarded, which behaviors. And again, I'm talking about positive behaviors, not accepting maybe bullying or something like this. No, I'm talking about the normal behaviors that's being rewarded. Maybe people at your workplace will be appreciating more um, maybe outings or events or stuff like this. So to build a good relation with everybody, maybe you can participate to organize an event or something, to start to know everybody more, to talk to everybody more. And I'm telling you very general tips, because some people won't be maybe introverts. They don't enjoy talking much to people. Just choose whatever is relevant to you, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Don't do anything outside of your comfort zone if it's really hard. And again, if you are an introvert and you would like to maybe get to know people more, you will start to work on your skills of socialization. So again, I'm not saying introverts are better or extroverts are better. I'm just giving you ideas of how to handle your relations at your workplace. So again, you have to, after seeing how people are reacting, if you found maybe they are maybe tipping in to get a gift for maybe a newly married colleague, tip in with them, um, like doing some goodwill gestures to everybody around you. And this is one example. Maybe other example, maybe throwing birthday to someone. If someone got maybe succeeded or won a competition at something, you have to be active at this kind of stuff. And to be able to do this, you need to start getting to know people more, by asking them. There is a long list of questions. It's a very simple questions to get to know people, maybe over lunch or something, to know more about people, not on a professional level, and I mean a human level, by asking them, okay, how do you spend your extra hours after work? People will start telling you, okay, maybe I play football, I do this and this and this. And this information, very simple information about everybody, will give you an insight on how um, to get to know them better. Usually at workplace, you will feel more comfortable talking to people that are similar to you. Maybe you like doing a specific hobby, and you relate more to people that are enjoying the same hobby. So we divide people into three categories: the people that are similar to you, and you do nearly no effort to getting to know them because it's natural, and the people that are not similar to you, but you are, because of your work, maybe work responsibilities, you deal with them. And the third category is people they don't know you at all, and you need to have um, acquaintances at each level of this, because people never grow by just mingling or socializing with people just typical to them. So you need to have your friends, maybe from the same, that are similar to you, and to start to get to know different people than you. And maybe the third category is that people that don't know about you, maybe in different departments, maybe managers. You have to be able to communicate with everybody. Just put yourself out there. I know this is very competitive to introverts, but again, this is important to your job. If you like, building relations is very important to people, and I'm not telling you to do something extremely out of your comfort zone, but you have to work on building relations. Okay, again, questions, simple questions to get to know people in different maybe settings, like over lunch, at a specific party, getting to know people. And it's a very important tip: don't start asking for favors early. People don't like this. They feel they are being used. So keep it to later. Don't ask for favors early, but instead ask for advice. Since you are going and you're a new hire, you have all the right to ask everybody about support. I mean, support, like to ask them, okay, tell me more about the place here. Tell me more about your job. Give me an advice on how what is being rewarded at this place. People, um, you can ask people for advice, and this is something really people appreciate, especially if they have been for a long time at this workplace, and you would love to feel that they are giving inputs to something just joined. Okay. Another thing, you're not just gonna be asking, you need to share, because people feel more comfortable when they know about you as well, like you know about them. So remember last time when we have said that you need to have a story, bits and pieces of what you're doing, what do you like, stuff like this. You have to share a little bit of personal information, and I'm not talking about very detailed. No, just tell them, okay, I have maybe sisters, and I have my wife is name is so and so. I have a couple of kids. My kids are in this grade and this grade. To to put a human touch on your character, because usually people, when they don't know anything about you, they are a little bit like maybe will be hesitant to share anything. Okay. This is a very, very brief as well tips about how to get to know people more, because I wanted to put most of the time for handling your manager, because usually people don't talk about this because they yes, a manager is the senior, is more experienced than you, and usually people have all the expectations on their managers. But guess what, you there is a term called to manage up. How are you going to be handling your manager? And usually it's everything in life. It's a 50-50 relation. Like your manager should be handling you in a specific way, you should be able to understand more about your manager and to manage your relation with them. So let me tell you that the secret to this is that you don't choose your manager. Maybe you get to choose everything in life, but not your manager. But your manager actually gets to get the chance to choose you. But you went there and it's your manager. You have nothing to do about it. So you have to handle your relation with your manager, because your manager is the person who will be helping you to understand the job. Maybe if there is a promotion, he'll be helping you with this. So it's very important to understand how to handle your relation with your manager. Okay, let me tell you that uh, first thing, you have to understand the communication style of your manager and how the style of work, what type of person is he at work, and to understand their priorities. So if your manager is not is not a good communicator, for example, he doesn't sit with you and tell you everything, you can ask them at your first maybe month at work, when you are having the orientation and he skipped maybe to tell you what is his management style. You can ask him, okay, tell me, what are your priorities? What type of communication do you prefer? Do you prefer emails? Do you prefer calls? You can simply ask, and this is the secret to it. The secret to success generally with everybody, with different people, I mean, is communication. You have to have an open communication and ask if you don't really know what to do. Okay. So to understand the way your manager prefers to communicate, to understand more about how they want work done. And to make it easier for you, we have 4 categories to understand which type of managers is your manager. And let me say that the first type, it's the fast-paced, goal-oriented, or task-oriented manager, and they are very direct at communicating. They are called the advancers, and you will know that they are like having a very cut short communication. When they want something, they directly ask you for it. No sugarcoating, nothing of this. He's very fast-paced, and he only have the goal in front of his eyes. This is the first type. And to succeed with this type, you have to keep up with him or her. To when you agree, for example, on a deadline, you have to understand it's very important to them not to miss the deadline. If you want to talk to them about something, you have to be very brief and very precise, and to have don't go to them for with a problem, but go and tell them, okay, there is this problem and I have a solution for it. Are you okay with this? And you just go and do it. This is the first type of managers. The second type of managers is called the influencer, and they are having a very high energy, again, fast paced, but for more of a people oriented person. And they invest in the relation with people. Maybe they have, of course, the task in mind, but it comes right after the people relation and the people generally, and usually they manage through people by having like maybe the party guy or something like this. Sorry, guys. And this type of managers, you need to understand that they value people, and they have time to talk. So if you are getting to talk to them about something, you have to put some maybe emotions in the request and relate it to something related to people, not just to talk about the task without any emotions. The third type is called the evaluator, and unlike the first two types, this is a very slow-paced manager. The evaluator, it's even the name indicates, they just take decisions very slowly because they keep evaluating everything related to the decision. They are detailed oriented. They want to get more information and more inputs before they decide anything. They are very slow paced. They care about the task, and but they want to do things right, so they take a very slow process to decide. And to be able to communicate with this type of managers, you have to have all the information needed, because usually they'll ask a lot. They're going to ask you a lot about a lot of stuff related to a decision or something. And you have to be ready. You have to be ready with all the information. They really focus on details. So you have to make sure that all the details at hand is really precise and correct. Sorry, guys, I just had a flu, and I just affecting, I'm coughing a lot. Okay, so the evaluator again is really concerned with details, and you have to be very accurate with everything you provide them with. And to help, this will help them to take sound decisions. And if you are the person providing them with information, they're going to be, thank you, Sarah. They're going to be really trusting you, and building trust is a basis for all relationships at work, out of work, with your colleagues, with your manager. So if I would say, it's communication and building trust. Okay, the last type of the of managers, it's called the harmonizer, or the harmony, the harmonizer, yes. And they are very like the most important thing for them is just people. No task, nothing. It's just people. We would call them the people pleaser, or the peacemaker. He only thinks about people, and usually this type of managers would find it difficult to take any decision that's aggressive, a little bit aggressive or assertive. And this type of managers, they are very sweet and very talkative, and they would you would feel like maybe a motherly and fatherly vibes coming out of their of them. They would ask about you mean the harmonizers? They're saying, I guess this type could be me if I will be a manager. You mean the harmonizer, right?
Yes.
Okay. And usually this type of managers would be the go-to destination from everybody around them, because they would give them this feeling of trust and calmness, and they would bring harmony and peace to the place. And some departments really needs this type of management. And to be able to manage and handle this type of managers, you need always to show as well your human side, and to help them maybe add more to their inputs by maybe if you know a sick employee, you just tell them, you know that this person is sick, maybe we need to do something for them. And these are how we can grow our English. Okay, I'll get back. Maybe give me like 10 minutes and I'll start going to the section of the questions. So if you have any question in mind, just write it down in the comments so I can get back to it. Maybe give me like 10 minutes, maybe a little bit less, and we'll start taking your questions. So let me tell you that now we have talked about different style of managers. Let me tell you, there is one last type, and it's only one type because there will be like, it's one category of a toxic boss or a toxic manager or a bad boss. And this, how to handle having a bad boss, since we said that you don't get to choose your manager. So if, for example, you figured out that your manager is a toxic one, how would you handle them? You have two ways. And talking about a toxic boss with different types and different tricks they do, it can take one session by itself. But let me brief it here, that if you figured out after you went to the job and you didn't do your homework well before you go, to ask about your manager and their style, and to ask about the company as a whole. So if you went there and you figured out you have a very toxic boss, what will you do? You have two things to do. If you can be very observant to understand their keys and to know how to diffuse their toxicity by understanding why. Maybe somebody is toxic and it's not intentional. Maybe they are very, like, maybe they micromanage because they have no trust in anybody. This is one of the toxic bosses types, that they are managing, and they are asking about every single detail that you do, they are suffocating you. And by the way, this is the least level of toxicity, and this is where you can handle your boss, and maybe toxicity can elevate till it reaches maybe a narcissist. So let me tell you that having a micromanager is something you can handle. And how can you handle it? Just to understand that they micromanage because they lack trust. And your goal will be to build trust with them, maybe to, and this is a very powerful trick to handle a micromanager, is to be initiative, to have an initiative. Like, that they're going to be asking you about a specific report. Don't wait for them to ask. Just go and prove to them that you are really alert to everything happening and alert to their expectations. This will diffuse a little bit a micromanager when you are building trust with them, to know that you are aware of what they want. This is the very mild level of toxicity. And again, if the toxicity is really, really high, like they are cornering you, they are accusing you of stuff, there is a limit, and you need to know where you have to take a decision of leaving. But before that, I will tell you, there is a trick, a mental trick that you can do on yourself. If you really care to stay at this job, just detach yourself from everything going, because toxicity usually is really bad, because it's affecting your mental health. Let's say, for example, you're doing your job and your manager always is disappointed. He's always disappointed. He doesn't like anything that you're offering or providing. So usually having so much criticism like this will get into your mind and makes you feel less and maybe lack your confidence. And you have to be aware that it's not about you. Maybe you have to validate that your manager is, like, their comments is not valid. You have to make sure before you decide if your manager is a toxic person, or maybe your performance is not good. So I'm just telling you tips, you have to be aware to decide if it's you the problem or them. So let's say that it's not you, you are doing your job, you know that, and it's them. So don't let it get to your mind. You have to be aware that this is not on you at all, and to detach yourself from this vibe of always being criticized. If you can do this, a lot of people have the mental toughness to do this, to detach themselves from the negative comments, to detach themselves from the bad vibes, to detach themselves from the whole situation and just go there and achieve their goal. And of course, there is the hierarchy, the hierarchical steps of escalation. Maybe if your manager is really making your life hell, you can go to their manager, you can go to HR, but first you need to see if you can handle them and to see if you can detach yourself from what's going on. And if it started to be really like hurting your career, you need to speak up and say something like, there is a problem here. And I would advise to make this your last resort, because usually your manager is being hired by their manager. So um, and a lot of managers will be defending maybe this person. And if you figured out that this is the case, go to HR. And never give up, never leave your job before you tried at least all the steps I was telling you to try to handle them. Go to their manager, go to HR, detach yourself from mentally from what's going on. And the last resort is to leave your job, and you will be having a very valid reason to save yourself from any mental issues, being under so much stress. And let me give you a very brief comments on the very essential skills that you need to have to succeed at work. And yes, it's being flexible. I think somebody here said being flexible. Yes, being flexible, and I'm not saying on time basis. No, being flexible, thinking about your tasks. For example, now you're starting your first job, and you were asked to do something that's a little bit relevant to your job description. For me, it's a chance to learn. To be honest, for me, when I was really young and I was just starting my career, I never said no to something I know I'm going to learn from it, and I would make time for it to learn. So being flexible really adds a lot of experience to you. And maybe this is why yes, I am a professional in the HR field, but I have so much experience and knowledge in different departments, because when I was younger, I never said no to learning. I was really flexible. And the second tip, and it sounds a little bit weird knowing that I was just telling you to be flexible, but you have to know when to say no to something. When do you say no, I'm not going to be able to do this. And this is when the something being asked from you is not going to add to you. And sometimes you can help people around you, by the way. But if you figured out that this person is not really needing any help, they are just putting their responsibility on you, maybe to have more time to have fun or to go out or something like this. So you need to know when to say no to something and when to say yes to learn and to help people out. And the third tip is to have very good communication skills by knowing your positive sides, talking to different types of people, building connections and good relations with everybody around you. The fourth one is to have a very good negotiation skills. And negotiation skills meaning that when you are maybe asking for a raise, maybe when you are negotiating on a promotion, when you are talking, maybe doing a deal for your company, how are you going to be able to handle the negotiation? You need to work on your negotiation skills, because we always negotiate. We always negotiate, but most of people think that this is an executive skill, like for a manager or something. No, everybody needs to learn negotiation. And the problem solving, this is the fifth skill. You need to be a problem solver, because usually people get promoted because they have this skill. Like, I have a problem and I'm not going to be sitting there just waiting for somebody to come in and help me fix it. No, I'm going to be the person who will be looking for solutions. The last thing, and it's something related to your tasks, you have to be able to organize it and to put priority and define the priority along, of course, with your manager's expectations, and to manage your time. And there is a very nice exercise. Doing this is by dividing the tasks to important, not important, and urgent and not urgent. I believe most of you will know about this window shaped, when you put tasks based on their urgency and importance. And I'm just giving you a very brief tips. I just, I squeezed a lot of information in maybe 40 minutes or less. Each topic can be have like a total a 1 hour long session by itself, and I was trying just to give you a tips and squeeze it as much as I can. And I'm ready now for your questions, guys. If anybody got any questions related to this, let me take here a question from Hayam till you, if anybody got a question, to write it down. How we can grow our English speaking? I'm sorry, can you explain more, Hayam? What do you mean? You mean to how to? Yes, Sarah, if you can help me out to understand this question more.
Yeah, yeah. I guess he's more asking on how to improve his speaking level in English.
Okay. Again, I think I've mentioned this before, but let me recap it. Any language and any skill as well needs practice. So you need to learn and practice. So, for example, if you have a problem maybe in your English vocabulary and pronunciation, so you need to start gaining more vocabulary and listening to native speakers. And usually I used to do this watching movies when I was younger. No, it's totally fine. No, it's totally fine. I like the question. Thank you, Hayam, for bringing it up. Um, Again, I was watching movies, and I was maybe if I speak Arabic, my native language is Arabic. So I would read, and this was when I was very young, I would read the subtitles. And then over time, I started listening to the movies with no subtitles. So I increased my vocabulary lists, and I was able to listen, and I would repeat after them. And of course, you have to practice. Maybe you can find a buddy, a friend or something, and you would have full conversations using the language that you are trying to learn. For example, English. I'm working on my French, so I'm trying to find a buddy to talk in French and to have a full conversation in French. So if you don't have the time to go and take a specific course, because a lot of places offer conversation courses. Here in Egypt, we have a British Council, different places you can go and have a course where you practice with everybody around you in the class. And if you don't have this type of maybe luxury time or money, you can do what I used to do when I was younger, watching movies, talking to a friend, using the language. But you have to not to have it casual, like casual thing you do. No, you have to have a plan. Like, today I'm going to be watching this movie, and I'm going to, after I watch the movie, I'm going to be getting maybe the new words I've learned, and I need to repeat them. So it's kind of a task. It's not just for watching the movie and enjoying the movie, but you have to do it like as a task. I hope you answered your question, Hayam. Let me know if you have any other questions.
Yeah, I have an addition to whatever you were saying, everything you were saying. Sorry. So to Hayam, maybe after taking the Mr. Ahmed permission, I can deliver sessions in English because I'm actually teaching English. So if anyone is interested, you can contact Dr. Ahmed, and we can arrange speaking sessions. Nevertheless, I can do grammar and vocabulary sessions as well. So if you are very interested, please, I'm very welcome the idea of sharing. And for you, Miss Yusra, I can give you sessions in French. I actually speak French, so if you are interested, please contact me wherever you want, and we can have some sessions in French too. Yeah,
Sure,
that's
I
yeah,
love that. I love that now everybody's going to be able to talk the language they want, English and French. Thank you, Sarah, for
yes,
this.
you are very welcome. Okay,
Guys,
let's see. Yeah, if we have other questions. I have one comment basically on the type of toxic managers, actually, because I faced that. I was in a situation when I was working in a company, and the manager was really toxic. You have no idea how much. And basically, as I was a nice person, I didn't realize that at that moment. So I was always going by the flow. I was always taking the criticism they give, even if I know myself that I am better at certain points, but they give him bad feedback. And what was it's really surprising at the end, they was like, yeah, we were joking. It's not something that you should take in consideration, which was like shocking to me. But when I left, then I realized how toxic it was, the work environment. But as you say, it always go into your mind and try to trick you that you're not even a good person sometimes, or you're doing bad things sometimes. But alhamdulillah, everything is doing great now, and I feel much better when I left. Yeah.
thank you for sharing your story regarding this. And the having a toxic manager is really dangerous because under the attack, you're not really aware what's going on. Is it me? Is it him? So you need to seek feedback. You need to detach yourself mentally from what's being said, and really to do some analysis and diagnosis to make sure it's not you. And if you've made sure that it's 100% them, you need to, whether to really have a very tough mind to be able to stay there with all the comments, or to stand up for yourself and say, no, I'm sorry, I'm really doing my best here, and we need to figure something out. And I'll tell you something, dealing with a toxic manager, and I'm talking about the highest level of toxicity when they are really getting into your mind, you have to have a documentation. Like, for example, if they asked you for a specific task, it's preferable, if they are really that toxic, is to send it by email. And it's preferable if you have, like, if it's a meeting, sorry, to have like a witness to the situation. Because usually in my activities really regarding bullying, I'm telling my people that to be able to stand up for a bully, because a toxic manager at this level is a bully, okay? You have to have a documentation for everything, because a bully is a very smart person. They would never leave a trace, so you can't prove it, because usually he'll be a very nice person in front of everybody, and behind closed doors he's really a bully. So you need to have a very smart plan to stand up for yourself by having the documentation, whether it's through email, whether it's by having a witness. And this will save you from being under the attack of, usually he'll tell you, no, you didn't understand what I was asking of you. So this is why it's preferable to have it through email, and to have somebody attending with you, maybe in a meeting, to validate if something was really not clear, or it's something they said. So thank you, Sarah. And I'm glad that you have passed this period of having a toxic manager. Um, okay, Tara is asking regarding manager styles. Okay, what about that? If you can have a specific question. Can people join a voice, Sarah? Can people join the session and ask a voice question?
I don't think that I have the permission to give them, but I guess the doctor can give them. But uh, for now, they cannot. They can only write.
Okay.
You can just mention the name and I can give him the permission to
Tariq is
speak.
asking regarding manager styles, and it's okay. He sent something on the Q&A. How can we deal with aggressive manager that he's honest and God will ask him? When someone comes late, he makes it a problem. As a manager, you need sometimes to neglect small things to build good relationship with employees. Well, again, Sarah, can you help me out if you really understand what's the question? Because
Uh, as far as I understand, is that maybe Tariq is sometimes having some delay at work, and he was having aggressive reaction by his manager. So he was asking if how this manager could work on himself by neglecting like small things
okay.
and just to have a good relationship with the employees.
Okay. I like your question, to be honest, because it reminded me of something maybe I skipped saying. You can never change anybody. So your question, Tariq, and I understand, by the way, it's correct. What you're saying is correct. A smart manager will choose their battles, will know exactly when to have a stand at a specific something, and when they just let things pass, okay? This is a smart manager. And even though what you're saying is correct, but again, we don't change people. We only have like control over ourselves. So your question is, or what you're saying is that you are giving an advice to managers to skip trivial things, right? But what if your manager is not skipping trivial things and you cannot change him? We can't control people. We can't control their behavior, but we can control our behavior and our reaction to them. So what if we were just saying you have to understand your manager and see their priorities. So this is part of your homework, to understand the priorities of your manager. So let's say, for example, that your manager is a really person who really hates when people are late. So it's part of your job to make sure that you are not late. And by the way, if it's something out of your hand, maybe you were late because of something happened, maybe in the streets, traffic or something, okay, I can understand this. But it shouldn't be the norm that you are late and you're expecting your manager to understand. So we want to make a balance here, Tariq, by okay, I need to, because you, since you joined the job, you have a specific things you need to understand that you have to do to be on time, do your tasks, etc. So try to make it as least as possible to be late. And if something happened, you can explain or you can send to your manager that you're going to be a little bit late, because communication always fix things. Like if they know that you're going to be late for something out of your hand, maybe the reaction will be less aggressive. if you know what I mean. Just give them the chance by explaining. Don't be late as much and expect him to understand, because maybe this is one of his priorities. Maybe he doesn't care about the tasks as much as punctuality, just being on time. Okay. I hope I answered your question. Do we can send following up letter email as interview was given? Yes. Last time I during the session related to the interviews, I advised everybody to send a follow-up email after the interview and a follow-up email after the 2 weeks that they told you they're going to be getting back to you. And you can do this. You can send a follow-up email. It's okay. Okay.
Okay, perfect then. So I guess this will lead to the end of our presentation. Thank you so much again for answering all the questions, for giving an outstanding talk and very interactive with being very interactive with our attendees. So thank you so much everyone for your attendance. Again, thank you, Ms. Yusra, for the impressive talk and interactive way of handling the presentation and giving the answers of the questions. Thank you so much for that. As always, you have no idea how many valuable tips or you gave to our graduates who are attending this presentation. We really appreciate it, and for sure you will be missed. For our attendees, I hope you have learned so many things during this whole journey of 4 weeks, month, and you will implement everything you learned soon to accomplish success and realize your dream. I hope we will hear not only good feedback from our attendees, but success stories as well soon. So for everyone who missed our previous sessions, make sure to review them on our YouTube channel and submit the assigned quizzes and the final exam on time to get your certificate at the end. So as I was saying, this is the end of our journey. I wish everyone good luck and our speaker more success in the future, inshallah. Please stay faithful and follow us on YouTube channel and Facebook group for more updates and events. Everyone have a good day and goodbye. Stay safe.